gentlemen, dear guests, welcome to Azerbaijan. I'm very glad to see you all. I hope you will have pleasant stay in our city. Today, I think an important event in the history of non-aligned movement. Here in Baku, we create a NAM parliamentary network. I'm very grateful to NAM member states for supporting this initiative of Azerbaijan, which is another step to strengthen our solidarity and mutual support. As a former member of parliament of Azerbaijan for 8 years, as a former colleague of yours, I know very well how important is parliamentary diplomacy and interparliamentary relations. And I'm sure that our parliamentary network not only will contribute to solidarity between our countries, but also will establish close working relations with different parliamentary organizations of the world. Non-aligned movement is the second after United Nations biggest international institution. And of course, we all want that our voice is heard on global scale. Parliamentary network is not the only initiative which we put forward and got your support. Another important initiative is a youth network. And next month here in Baku, again, we will have another important event, a youth summit of NAM. So these are steps towards institutional development of NAM. And I think time has come to make practical steps in that direction. Another initiative which Azerbaijan put forward and was supported by member states is the creation of NAM support office in New York. I think also it's right time now to make more steps towards institutional development, and that in its turn will help us to defend our interests on international arena and also strengthen, of course, solidarity between our countries. Azerbaijan is a relatively new member of NAM. We joined NAM family in 2011, and from the very first days of our activity, we tried to contribute to solidarity, mutual support, and promotion of Bandung principles. We fully share Bandung principles, and we consider these principles as the only basis for cooperation and interaction between countries. Territorial integrity, sovereignty, independence, non-interference into each other's affairs. If these principles were preserved by all countries, there would have been no wars, no conflicts, and no injustice. So from the first days of our activity, Azerbaijan became very active in all NAM endeavors. And I think that was the main reason for unanimous support of Azerbaijan's candidacy to chair non-aligned movement. And this great unanimous support of 120 countries was shown in 2016, was shown to us. And in 2019, in Baku, we organized and successfully held NAM Summit and assigned the chairmanship for the years 2019-2022. And also, we consider as a great sign of respect to our country and a sign of appreciation of our activity that our chairmanship in NAM, again by unanimous decision of 120 countries, was extended until late 2023. And we're grateful for that, and we will do everything in order to justify and your support and demonstrate that that was a right choice. Our chairmanship in NAM coincided with COVID-19, and Azerbaijan was one of the countries which actively played a role on the international arena in combating this disease. We initiated the NAM online summit and held it in May 2020, and that was the first step of NAM member states to consolidate our efforts in approaching pandemic. As a result of that, we launched an initiative which was supported by member states to convene a special session of General Assembly in response to COVID-19, which was successfully held in December 2020. And our efforts also were aimed not only to strengthen solidarity and provide support, but also were very helpful to World Health Organization, which started to use our database with respect to support to countries and with respect to humanitarian and medical assistance. So the database which we created in member states was and is very useful in treating this pandemic and any other disease which may occur in the future. We provided financial support and humanitarian support to more than 80 countries. Also, we made a donation of $10 million to World Health Organization, and half of that money was assigned directly to NAM member states. So our efforts with respect to approach to COVID-19, I think had a very important global reflection, because we were one of the countries which was openly protesting against vaccine nationalism. We all remember in the early days and months of pandemic, some countries, wealthy countries, were stockpiling vaccines maybe 3-4 times more than they needed, and thus not allowing other countries to get access to vaccines. We all witnessed that wealthy countries were using absolute majority of the vaccines, while other countries were helpless. And therefore, our struggle against vaccine nationalism was also supported by United Nations. And I think that also had a very important impact on fair distribution of vaccines. So in other words, Azerbaijan always was demonstrating its position on regional issues, on global issues, and of course, as a chair of NAM, we will continue to fight against injustice, against violation of international law, against selective approach to different conflicts, and against discrimination. We also witnessed the great support of NAM member states. As I said, unanimous decision to assign chairmanship of NAM and then to extend it was a clear demonstration of attitude of countries towards Azerbaijan. Another important sign of solidarity we saw in the most difficult times of our country, when we were liberating our territories after almost 30 years of Armenian occupation. And we were fighting on our own land. We were restoring justice, restoring international law, but unfortunately, some countries launched a campaign against us, campaign of discreditation, slander, and blackmail. And unfortunately, this was not only a verbal campaign or public accusations. Some countries tried to bring this issue, our due course, to United Nations, to Security Council. But our friends, members of NAM, at that time, members of UN Security Council, blocked anti-Azerbaijani statement and blocked the attempt of accusation against Azerbaijan, and thus did not allow pro-Armenian global forces to attack Azerbaijan. We are very grateful for that, for your solidarity. And once again, I'd like to say that we were restoring justice. Azerbaijan, a country which faced one of the biggest injustices in the world, occupation by Armenia of almost 20% of our territories, which resulted in ethnic cleansing. 1 million of Azerbaijanis became refugees and internally displaced persons. Our historical and religious heritage was erased by Armenian occupants. And now visitors of liberated territories can see it with their own eyes. This barbarism, vandalism, and desecration of our mosques, and destruction of our religious and cultural monuments. These are all facts. No one can ignore it, no matter how pro-Armenian forces and their supporters want to neglect. They are not able to neglect these facts, because already thousands, maybe tens of thousands of people visited liberated territories, including foreign visitors, of course, politicians, members of parliament, chairmen of parliaments, and journalists and experts and ordinary people, visitors. We put an end to that. We restored justice and international law. And when in 2019 in Baku I was speaking at the NAM summit, I was saying that we will defend justice and international law. We know what it means when you cannot restore it yourself, when you depend on others. But we were waiting for many years, for almost 30 years. We were waiting for international community to help to resolve this injustice and put an end to occupation. For that purpose, OSCE created Minsk Group in 1992, which was supposed to find a solution to this conflict. In other words, to put an end to occupation. But on the contrary, Minsk Group became an instrument in the hands of those who wanted this occupation to last forever. And now, when Azerbaijan resolved the conflict, put an end to occupation, restored its territorial integrity by military and then political means, there is no need for Minsk Group any longer. We already said farewell to Minsk Group, but unfortunately, Armenia and some others want to revitalize it. It is not possible. It is already dead. And we, as a country who suffered from occupation, we say that openly, and I think that any further speculation about OSCE Minsk Group is not only counterproductive, but also destructive for possible peace in our region. On 10th November 2020, after 44 days of liberation, war, patriotic war, Armenia had to capitulate and to admit its defeat, and then was forced to liberate the remaining territories which were not liberated on the battlefield. And it took only 44 days for us, but we waited for almost 30 years. And during the years of occupation, on many occasions, speaking on different international events, I was calling for sanctions to be imposed on Armenia and saying that the only way how to resolve this problem peacefully is to impose sanctions on Armenia. The sanctions which will be efficient and which will be damaging to the economy, but unfortunately, no sanctions was imposed. On the contrary, Armenia was getting much more support from some pro-Armenian politicians than Azerbaijan. And as we saw, the only purpose of Minsk Group activity was to freeze the conflict and to keep our lands under occupation forever. So we put an end to that policy and liberated our lands by force and by our political wisdom. I can tell you that situation with conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan is not only a regional issue, it is a global issue because it's a full violation not only of basic international principles, it was also violation and non-implementation of UN Security Council resolutions. In 1993, United Nations Security Council adopted 4 resolutions no one can answer, or maybe do not want to answer. Another question is, why in some cases resolutions of with heads of states and government of NAM. Once again, dear friends, I'd like to thank you for being with us. We will try to do everything to show traditional Azerbaijani hospitality to you. I hope that the conference will be not only very productive, but also be a good chance for interaction, to establishing closer contacts. And as a result, we will see the progress in solidarity, in mutual support, and in strengthening of our institutions. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, let me open the session. His Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished parliamentarians, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure and privilege that I greet you all today at the Baku conference of the Non-Aligned Movement Parliamentary Network. It's an honor to have His Excellency Mr. İlham Əliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, with us today. On behalf of all participants, I would like to extend our deep gratitude to His Excellency Mr. President for the noble initiative to establish the non-parliamentary network. The inspiring address Mr. President delivered today to the Baku conference is a testament to his unwavering commitment in his capacity as a chair of NAM to strengthen unity within the movement through multidimensional cooperation among its members. Dear participants, At the 18th summit of NAM held in Baku, the heads of state and government decided to expand and deepen